Hello, hello, my coloring heathens. Well, everybody really, whoever's watching this, if you're an art person, a coloring person, it doesn't matter. You're watching this video because obviously you're a little bit curious about what it's all about. Now, I will warn that this is going to be a lengthy video, which you can probably already tell by looking at the thumbnail. So today, though, it's going to be long, but it's going to be fun, at least I think so, because we are going to be taking a peek at every single page that I've colored since the beginning of my little coloring book journey. It's going to be a lot. An idea for this video had never even occurred to me. It's a great idea, but it never occurred to me to do it. Why, I don't know, but one of you lovely people, I will leave her name and or her avatar and or her comment here on screen, left me this comment on a recent video I uploaded in which I talked about all of my books. So I went through all of my books and I talked about them from the first book to the most recent, and she said, hey, have you ever considered filming a video of all your colored pages? And I thought, genius. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. I will be reaching off screen periodically for the go-go juice. Drinking coffee today. So let's get on into it. Now, first and foremost, I am going to say that I have 2 copies of Spooky Sweets because I have already finished one entire book. So I think the easiest way to do this is to move the rest of the books away, and then we'll get started. Okay, so Spooky Sweets I'm going to be doing this in the order that my books were created. So of course, Spooky Sweets being the first. Let's go ahead and flip on through. Now, this book, I don't put the dates on any of my pages. I don't do any of that. So I can't tell you when I colored it. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. The whole point is just to share all of my colored pages. Dates, they don't matter to me, and let's just go. I will talk briefly about the supplies that I used on the pages. We'll go through this. I don't know what I'm going to do. Some pages I like, some I don't. Case in point, this is a page that I completed in full-on just glittery jelly rolls. All of the glitter jelly rolls that not all of the ones that I have, but all that I used on this page was glittery jelly rolls. Hated it. Won't be doing it again. This one is, of course, the cover girl. This one is, early on, I used to use a lot of colored pencils in my books, and then I veered away from that, but this was Posca pen and colored pencil. Same thing, more colored pencil and Posca pen. It takes a while for me to start getting into markers, which I use heavily now, and I prefer markers, honestly. This one was a cool one because it was done in crayons. Now, crayons is something that I want to try again in my books. This is the first one that I ever colored in crayons. I hate crayons. Crayons are the worst, but they're so much fun. So if you have a box of crayons, I highly suggest that you use them. If you have kids, steal theirs for a little while. Trust me, it'll be fun. This one was done with highlighters. This was it's a set of Stabilo pastel highlighters, which is really nice. I love those highlighters. They work well in these books because sometimes I just want a pastel marker, not a super saturated deep marker. And I know that they do make pastel markers out there, the Copics, for instance, but those are expensive, and I'm not going to buy them when I don't use them too often. But white gel pen and highlighter. This one there's some metallic pen on it, paint marker. So there's metallic paint marker and colored pencils. Again, I was heavy on the colored pencils back then. Same thing on this one. Maybe I should give them a shot again one of these days. This one was, if it looks dirty to you and you're saying, ew, why does that candy look so gross and dirty and nasty? It's supposed to. It's spooky, rotten, disgusting Halloween candy. See the browns? It's supposed to be moldy and gross. That's the point. Another one that was done with crayons. I remember this one looking brighter when I made it. I wonder if that's just my brain playing tricks on me or if that's actually the case. Some colors still look saturated, but these lighter ones, I feel like they've lightened up over time. I don't know. Could just be all in my head. This one was murder for somebody who has tendinitis, like myself. Stippling. Did this one. It was nothing but stippling. And my wrist definitely hated me for it. It looks kind of cool, though. I may revisit that at some point, the technique. Marker. This is a marker with a little bit of glitter pen. You see that lovely glitter? She's cute. I like her. Definitely very me in the color palette. Me and my warm colors, as you know. I like the ombre here happening on her skirt. I like her. She's a cutie pie. Watercolor. Watercolors are not made, or this book is not made to withstand watercolors. I don't like this page, not because of the watercolors. It was just an experiment. This is the first time that I had used watercolors in this book, so that's all it was. This one was both watercolor and gouache. So we're playing with the watercolor. Generally what I do is I will sacrifice a page or two to get a feel for the way an art supply works. So for this one I just slapped watercolor on it. Didn't really care about the quality of the page. I just didn't care. I just wanted to see what the watercolor felt like. Then once I got a feel for it, I started to be a little bit more cognizant of how I used the watercolor. Still messy, still grungy. That was the intent of this page. And there's metallic pen on there as well. She's cute. She's grungy. I like it. Same old colored pencils, gel pen. This one looks like marker and glitter pen. Minimal, not a whole lot going on. Sometimes my mind just wants to keep things minimal. Case in point. Didn't add flourishes to the line art, nothing to the background, just kept her plain. This is another one that was created with those, or that was colored, I should say, with the highlighters. Messing with color palettes on this one. This is one of the throwaway pages that I don't care much about. This one I remember quite liking when I was making it, and I still think she's cute. She's super pastel, clearly, and I used Pilot Color Eno pencils on this one, which I haven't used since because I just haven't replenished my stash, but they are a colored lead colored pencil. I really like them. They work really well, and look how sweet this looks. I was playing with a lot of pastels when I created this book. Must have been some kind of personal challenge to see if I could. Another throwaway, testing color palettes. Now this one was one that was done in crayons. I love this page so much, the line art, not the colored work. But I decided to sacrifice one of my favorite pages because I wanted to play with something that I knew I was going to hate. And not only crayons, but neon crayons. Neon crayons, neon colored pencils, anything that has those bright neon colors that is a dry media is not going to work well. We all know they're patchy, they're dry, just icky, and look at this mess. Look at this mess. But it was fun anyway. If you're willing to sacrifice something that you like in the name of experimentation, it's worth it. Another color palette, color dump, throwaway page. This one was watercolor and a little bit of metallic pen. It was Crayola watercolors, and I like this one. This is how I like to use the watercolors in my books. I keep the colors minimal and the watercolors very watery, not especially saturated. She's cute. Throwaway page and more pastels. This one's colored pencils and looks like metallic gel pen. And that brings us to the end of the first Spooky Sweets, and then I started my second copy. This one is marker and colored pencil and gel pen. And then this one was another experiment where I wanted to play with really dark, grungy colors, similarly to how I did with that bat in the previous book. But this one I used only markers and gel pens. Do I like it? No, I think it didn't really have the effect that I wanted, but it was fun to play with dark colors because dark colors are difficult to work with. Next up is Dark Garden, which is my most challenging child. This one, if you recall my mentioning in my video in which I discussed all of my books, this one I purposely went with thinner line work. I went with really jagged, thin line work, and the result is a book that looks a bit, it's really sketchy, scraggly, and it's a challenge for people who are accustomed to coloring with thick, bold, how should I say it? The well-defined line work of traditional coloring books. This one forces you to think a little bit, which is great. So here's marker, metallic pen, and glitter. Colored pencil. This one is fairly simple, but she's very me in the color palette. Even though there's some blue on there, it's a purpley blue, which I like. This one is marker and gel pen. Crayola Super Tips. I remember I had recently purchased the set of Crayola Super Tips. Super Tips and metallic paint marker. Colored pencil and some pen. This one I did fairly recently. I was revisiting Dark Garden after not coloring in this book for a long time. And this one, I think this one ended up being one of my favorites in this book. Marker and gel pen. That's what this one looks like. This one, crayons, and of course, gel pen. This one, ballpoint pen, just a plain black ballpoint pen. A highlighter, as in just a highlighter. And I used gel pen on this one too. Colored pencil and paint marker. Super minimal. I wanted to finish this one quickly, I remember. This may be one of the first appearances of my Jelly Roll Glaze pen that I discovered and fell madly in love with. But that's the point of this one, is I wanted the accents to stick out, so you see it in her hair, then the black glitter, and yeah, just minimal. A very me color palette. I like this one. This one's gel pen, glitter and matte, and paint marker. This one was graphite, just a pencil. I went through with just a yellow pencil, a Ticonderoga pencil, and colored pencil, and it looks like paint marker. I have a tab here that shouldn't be there. Cute, very autumnal. My little Day of the Dead cemetery girl. This one's cute. I like the colors on this one. A marker, gel pen, and I think that's it. Metallic watercolor, gel pen, and that's it. Oh, there's a little bit of colored pencil on the face too. Next up is Desert Muse. When I was putting the tabs in these books, I realized that I had done a lot more than I thought that I did. It took me forever to put the tabs on the pages. This one, I distinctly remember this one being the first page that I colored in Desert Muse. Colored pencils and Posca marker on this little lady. Also, it looks like some metallic paint pen. This one looks better in person. There's a lot of little gold accents that you can't really see on camera, but she's still cute, I think. And the next one, it's like I did with the previous, wait, which book was it? Was it Dark Garden or was it Spooky Sweets? Spooky Sweets is one of those situations where I take one of my favorite pages and sacrifice it for the good of experimentation. I just threw a bunch of watercolor and different textured pens on here. A throwaway page. I hate it. I was just playing with techniques. Safe marker and colored pencil. This one was just a big old experiment. There's watercolor in the background and these crazy glitter paints. They're just craft paint, but the glitter in them is incredible. Can you see that? I don't know how well it's translating on camera, but I love this. It's not paint. I think they market it as a paint, but it's really like a top coat, kind of like a nail polish topper. Amazing glitter. And they're really cheap too. It's craft paint. And yeah, marker, gel pen, and craft paint. She looks like a lot. This right here is a color dump for you, but she was fun. More of a sparkle dump, really. But that one was fun. And she gave me crunchy pages. We all know how much I love a crunchy page. This one, marker and gel pen. I quite like these metallic gel pens. These are, well, I say I quite like them. Oh, please, don't be so demure. I am obsessed with these. These are the Sparkle Pop and or Hybrid Dual Metallic. It's the same pen. Different name, same pen, but the glitter effect on these is fun. This one, another throwaway. I just wanted something quick. This was just gel pens. This one I like. I think she's fun. I think should I remove all the tabs? Oh, I think I'm gonna remove the tabs as I work through the pages now. Anyway, she was fun. Just an exercise in coming up with a cool color palette. Marker, gel pen. Same old, same old. Boring marker and gel pen. This one is marker, gel pen, and one of my early experiments with the technique that I came up with in marbling the gel pens. You can see here there's a marbled kind of painted effect on the flowers. I love the hair on this one. I did a really subtle ombre and then I put some silver metallic in it. Cute. I like this page. A throwaway, all glitter again. I know that I hate doing all glitter, and yet look, I did it again. A marker and gel pen on this one. I like the color palette on this one. I like it a lot, actually. And the ghost town lady. This was actually inspired by a photo of me at a ghost town wearing a very similar outfit to this. I put myself in my book sometimes. What can I say? This one is graphite, just pencil and gel pen. The color palette on this one is a little wonky. I like it. Kind of a retro comic book color palette. Minimal, just playing with gold pens, golds, and silver metallics and these matte finish. This one, I believe this one might have been the first page that I ever experimented with my marbling technique, which I love. I don't do it very often, but I do quite like the technique. You can see it in her eyeshadow, in the flowers, and in the skulls as well. It's a really cool effect, and it feels cool, very artistic for a coloring book, if I may say so myself. I like this page. It's very simple. Didn't add anything superfluous to the background. Just, I like it. Minimal, nah, a throwaway. This one I did recently. I've never done a page that was primarily black and white. I was in the mood for it. I did it. I was a little on the fence of how I felt about it at first, but now that I'm looking at it, I think she's a really cool looking page. Oh, I tried the marbling. Here I did the marbling again, which I hadn't done in a long time. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think this is one of the pages that looks far better in person because there's a lot of little subtle details that are not going to translate on camera. But I quite like this one. I think this one might be one of my favorites of all time, actually. Didn't feel that way at the time, but in retrospect, yeah, I think so. Throwaway. This one, it may have been a precursor to this one, although this one was done years ago. Interesting. Interesting how that works. This one, I love the color palette. I think this one just came out cute overall. The pink sky, the lavender hills, dunes, whatever those are. I like this one. Really cute. And that does it for Ms. Desert Muse. Next is Vintage Oasis, which is my Palm Springs themed coloring book that I created for my Cat Eyes and Cacti brand. There I am, illustrated by moi. And then there's the Cat Eyes and Cacti website. This one, I've only colored one page, which is the flamingo. This is the only flamingo that appears in the entire book, which is probably why I wanted to color it. And I actually had some lawn flamingos outside of my apartment, and they were stolen. And I was in a mood because of it. So there's that one. Next is Wee Wickeds. This one is my only, I suppose we can call it a Halloween themed book. It is very much Halloweeny, starting with the Grim Reaper. Cute Grim Reaper, but still, he's the Grim Reaper. Just plain glitter, gel pens, meh. Another one, glitter and gel pens. I'm not attached to most of the pages in this book. There is one I know that I do like. One, maybe two. We'll get there eventually. Colored pencils, just meh. Colored pencil and gel pen. This one, I love this one. I think this is definitely, well, no, not I think. I know that this is among my top favorite pages of all time. I love the color palette. I think that's really what it is. And then the little accents of the glitter and the metallic. I like this one a lot. A lot. This one, watercolor and metallic pen. And it looks as though this is one of the pages that I started playing with adding to my own line work. You can see in the previous one, I did add a little bit of extra line work, but for the most part, I kept my lines pretty true to how they're printed in the book. There's definitely some additions here, but for the most part, it's about the same. This one, I definitely went in and added some thicker lines and did all of that sort of thing. And that's something that I continue to do to this day. This one was, there's a little bit of watercolor, but I remember that I wanted to play with coffee. So all of the browns that you see on here are coffee. A throwaway page, if we're being honest, but it was fun to play with it. Throwaway in glittery metallic gel pens. A fabulous pink vampire, because why not? This looks like marker and gel pen. Super minimal, just some glittery gel pens and metallic. The webs are nice. I like how the webs turned out on this one. Subtle, minimal. What else is there to say? Clearly I had a thing for keeping things minimal in this book. No background, no extra details, just markers and gel pen. A throwaway page in gel pen. It's not much to say in this book. It's a lot of the same stuff that you've been seeing. Markers, gel pens. Not much else to say about this one. Well, this one's annoying. I don't necessarily like the end product of this one, but this is the first time in the history of me doing color and chats that I had done this one with a friend of mine, and then all the footage was just unusable. Haven't tried it since, but I will someday. This one was fun. I like the color palette on this one. He's just a messy, grungy, creepy little Halloween clown. He's cute. I like him. One of the few pages in this book, if not the only page, where I went through the trouble of filling in all the background. Yeah, I think he's the only one. And the last one is just a throwaway page. And wait, did I even show it? It's just a throwaway, playing with colors. Next is my Spacey, my retro Spacey darling Stardust Spacelust. This one has, I haven't colored a whole lot in this one, but I think it has a high concentration of pages of color palettes that I love. Case in point, this one. I think this one turned out really cute. I love the warm colors on this one. The little gemstone jewel that she's sitting on. I really like this page. Is this one of my favorites? I'm not sure. She might be. She might be. But I do like this one quite a lot. This one, I love the figure. Not hot on the background. Oh, did I say what I colored this one in? Markers, gel pen. Do I really need to say it? Markers, gel pens. That's generally speaking, moving forward, that's what I use most of the time. This one as well. Markers and gel pens. But I love the figure. I love the figure. I love the outfit. Again, the background, not so hot on the background, but I do like the treatment of the makeup on this one a lot. She really captures that retro 80s sci-fi look that I was going for with some of the pages in this book. This one was colored with, this is metallic watercolor and crayons. Again, the crayons made an appearance again. Now, while I'm not hot on this page, what I do like about this one is that I tried the crayon resist technique that we all did as kids when we were in school, right? Where you put the crayon down and then watercolor on top of it. And that's what I did here. I did a metallic watercolor over the crayon, which gave it a really cool effect. But the page, overall a throwaway. This one, she's cute. Can't really go wrong with shades of pink and silver, right? She's just a little wonky space princess. She's cute. I like this one. Some accents of glitter. Cute. Spacey. The next one is a throwaway. I was playing with dark greens and just greens in general. I wanted something that was a little bit grungy dark, and really what I was trying to do, to be honest, is figure out how to color this over here. I like it. Well, I like the bubble, but the rest of the page, I consider it a throwaway. Gel pens and marker as usual. This one again, gel pen and marker. Lots of pink, lots of big hair, lots of sparkle. Surprise, surprise. One of my favorites from this book. The colors are great, very 80s, very gem-esque. Love it. 100% one of my favorites from this book. And it's those Pentel dual metallics, man. They are so wonderful. Well, again, they're Pentel dual metallics everywhere in the world, and in the US they're called the Pentel Sparkle Pop. But it's the same pen. It's the same pen. But oh, do I love it. Look how they're just the coolest pens ever. This one's my little Spacey drag queen. Oh, lots of pink, lots of sparkle, lots of metallic. It's cute. And she is the last one from Stardust Space Lust. This is another one that was, of course, illustrated by me for my Cat Eyes and Cacti brand. This one is not a regional book as Vintage Oasis is, but this one is definitely themed to mid-century modern tikis, the mid-century modern Gougie style cats, these spindly weird cats. And in this one, I surprisingly have only done one page in this one, and I like it. This is a really cute page. It's bright and it's fun, and it perfectly encompasses what this book is all about. It's just goofy tikis and cocktails and having a good time. Why I've only colored one page in this, I don't know, but it's really cute. I do like this page. Poor Cocktail Tropical, it needs more love. I will give it some more love in the future. Next is my Macarons sketchbook coloring book. These I generally finish 2 pages at a time because they're so small, which is one of the draws of this book that I love. I mean, look how tiny and petite this is. Easily manageable, bite-sized coloring pages, and they always look cool afterward. Even if you think you're messing it up, it still looks cool because the line art style in this book is such that it's supposed to be an artsy, grungy, sketchy look. So if it's already artsy, grungy, and sketchy to begin with, if you add more artsy, sketchy, grunginess on top, it looks intentional. Gel pens and markers. The color palette on this one I like, which is no surprise to you. The color palette on this one I also like. Pinks, golds, sparkle. Hello. This one's fun too. I like all of the pages in this book, honestly. They look cool. Again, purposely wonky, weird, sketchy, grungy. I like. Markers and gel pens. This one I chose colors blindly. I just literally closed my eyes, reached in my pen boxes, and chose colors. So this was an experiment in making those colors work. Was it successful? I don't know, but it was fun. And it was quick. That's the beauty of this book. These pages can be done very quickly. Watercolor and gel pen. Although it might have been ink. I think this is ink, not watercolor, but in any case, it's a watercolor technique. Markers and gel pen. The pages in this book need to be seen in person. There's a lot of little metallic-y, glittery sheen to the pages that don't translate very well on this crappy phone. This one's cute. I like this one. Marker and gel pen, of course. And this one is ink. and liquid ink, watercolor type ink, and gel pen. And that does it for the macarons sketchbook. Next is Fashion Circus. This one, I haven't colored a whole lot in it. I remember enjoying illustrating the pages in this book, but coloring in it, not so much. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. This one was another experiment in dark colors. I don't think this one was successful, but we did it. This one I did enjoy coloring. I did this one fairly recently. Markers and gel pens as usual. And a healthy dose of my beloved black gel pen. She's cute. I like this one. Pretty safe and tame. Just a typical run-of-the-mill Pierrot style clown. But instead of being a regular Pierrot that's black and white, clearly this one's been injected with some color. Just gel pens, as usual. Gel pens and markers. And this one was just a big fat experiment in Jackson Pollock type techniques. I used a shellac ink on this one, so it's crispy and crunchy, and it's a really weird texture because she's popcorn. She's a popcorn clown, and I wanted to get kind of a popcorny, kind of crackly effect. I don't know. Wasn't pleased with the results after the fact, but that's not the point. It was about experimenting. There are a few pages in this book that I would like to color. I need to pull this book back out. But that's Fashion Circus. Next up is Eerie Patisserie, and my voice is going. I've been talking too much. This one I've only done a couple of pages, so if my voice gives out, the video is almost done. This book is my first square format book, which I love. Playing with colors, not too keen on the results, but it was fun making a mess. And that's what matters. This one I do quite like. My kind of colors, of course, so what is there not to like? This page is just very, very me in terms of the colors, the techniques, the materials that I used. Cute, easy, I like it. That is Eerie Patisserie. Next, Spooklets Volume 1. Yes, there will be a Spooklets Volume 2 next year, if you're wondering. But this one has 3 pages in it. This one, minimal, cute. My colors, again, just warmth, sparkle. Fairly minimal, I would say. I like it. Marker and gel pen as usual. Again, my type of colors. I like this one as well. There's subtle glittery accents on it, which again, best seen in person, but that's all right. She's cute. I like it. And this one, again, marker and gel pen. Cute retro type colors on this one. And that does it for Spooklets. And finally, my most recent sweetheart, my current love. I just love this book so much. Only done 2 pages in it. I'm working on a 3rd. But let's go ahead and dive in. I'm not in love with this page, but whatever. I just wanted to play with some gel pens and markers, and that's what I did. She's okay. Not one of my favorites. Playing with ugly colors again. I think this book is going to be the one in which I experiment with hideously discordant color palettes. I tend to do it every now and then in my other books, but not, I don't necessarily put a concerted effort into purposely selecting hideous colors to work with. I think this book's going to be the one because the effects are cool. The end result I like. So we shall see. And that brings us to the end of Retro Deco and to the end of this video. Thank you for sitting through it. It was a long one, although I have a feeling some people probably watched a few minutes, took a break, came back to it, which is totally understandable. All of my books are available via Amazon. If you are interested in scooping any of them up, they are available as bound versions on Amazon. If you prefer PDF versions of the books, those are available in my Etsy shop, links to which can be found down below, or you can always just visit my website. I have links to everything that you need to know on my website, where you can find me, where you can purchase books and art and all of that good stuff. Let me know what you thought of the video. Was it fun? I hope so. Thank you for watching. Let me know what book is your favorite. Your personal favorite. Not favorite of the books that I colored in, but what's your favorite book? Let me know. I will see you in the next one.